Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for giving your association. It's very valuable. So very grateful to you and very grateful to Rishikesh Prabhuji and Puja Mataji for hosting, opening the door for all of us to come. Thank you so much. Thank you, Father. So let's do some kirtan and then we will get started. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Jaya Jaya Guru Dev. Nitai Gaura Hari Ho, Hari Ho, Hari Ho, Nitai Gaura Hari Ho, Nitai Gaura Hari Harinam Sankirtan Yajna ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for your valuable association. Very grateful to all of you. So today we'll continue study from Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are studying from Canto 1, and today we'll begin the chapter 12. We just concluded chapter 11, so we'll start with chapter 12 today. So let's begin the Mangalachara. Om Jnanatmirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhisham Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachyatya Deshakarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So let's begin study of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Hare Krishna. So let's begin. So the chapter name is Birth of Emperor Parikshit. So now, if you recollect, where was this topic discussed? Long ago, right? So we need to understand how we should enter into this chapter. So this chapter, how we'll enter? So basically, this chapter will describe, Sutta Goswami went describing how Aswasthama
sent Brahmastra and how Parikshit Maharaj was saved. Then he took a detour. He took little detour. Sometimes we also take, right? And then, so now Saunak is reminding, Arey, but you forgot that you were talking about what happened to that. So let's understand how this detour took place. So, it's very interesting how this detour has taken place. So if you see, we have this chapter, he was talking about chapter 4. In chapter 4, there are 4 questions which are asked, right? 4 questions are asked. How Vyasdev was inspired to take us, right, Bhagavatam. Who is Sukadeva Goswami? Talk about the birth of Parikshit Maharaj. Talk about his glories. So these 4 questions were asked at that time. And then while coming to the point where, in the 8th chapter, where he came after the son of Drona punished, then suddenly, as we know, some Maharaj or good speaker are speaking. Sometimes they come in the mood and they will just take a detour and say, I don't know why I came here. I've seen it many times, right? Sometimes they talk on Bhagavad and they start talking on Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavad, and then class ends. And say, oh, what happened to the Bhagavad? But everything is Krishna Leela. So it's all transcendental. So there's no problem with that, right? So same thing happened. Sutta Goswami was speaking about this, and then suddenly he took a detour. So these are the 4 chapters where he took detour. So after the son of Dronapani, he should have spoken about the Maharaj Parikshit's birth. But then he talked about, because, Kunti Maharani got overwhelmed and he was telling Krishna, thank you for everything that you've done. And then she's praying. So the whole chapter went into Kunti's Stuti. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj was feeling so much grief that, okay, to give him consolence, he took him to Bhishmadev, and Bhishmadev gave him the Gyan, and then Bhishma Sudhi. So 1 chapter went there. And then after that, finally Krishna departed and Krishna entered. So 2 more chapters went. So 4 chapters were taken in detour. And then now finally, Shauna Rishi reminds, you talk all, but what about that Parikshit? You didn't mention about it, right? Because see, in the 4th chapter, these are the 4 questions which are asked. If you see, these are the 4 questions. What is that? Why did, where did Vyasdev got inspiration to write Bhagavatam? Then he says, talk about Sukadeva Goswami. Who is he? How is he? Then he says, tell me about the birth and activities of Parikshit Maharaj. Then 4th question was, why did Parikshit Maharaj give up everything? And then he started fasting, and then, so all these 4 questions were asked at that time. So after answering first 2 questions, the detour took place. So now we are going to study about these. This is now coming back. So this is coming in the chapter number 12. So this is how it is. Right. So in this, there are some sections. So today we'll try to cover the first 2 sections. Let's see how much we can cover. It consists of six slokas. Before that, today I was doing some research and I come across one very wonderful, sentence, and then it was very powerful, and I liked it. So I'm going to put it because I feel that we all should remember this important point. So it's here. He says, Shrunvantah Sada Martya, meaning that every human being must realize that we are always indebted to society. We are always indebted to society. It is, without society, we cannot exist, right? So this is very powerful. And because of this, we need to give back to society. We need to serve the society in whichever way we can. It may be small, big, doesn't matter, right? So yeah, so this is my service to all of you. So please accept. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. And also what I'm going to speak is nothing is mine, dear devotees. Everything is coming from Srimad Bhagavatam and the purport of Srila Prabhupada and Acharya's commentary, which I'm going to repeat. So if there is any glory that may come, may all go to Gurudev's. And if there is any mistake, it will so in mind, so please forgive me. And please bless me so I can speak some nice word which will soothing to all of us and will inspire us to take this Bhakti Yoga Marg. Hare Krishna. I would like to pay my obeisances to all the Gurudevs whom I listen to. My gratitude of their lotus feet. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. So now the first 11 sloka talks about Parikshit Maharaj. Inquiry is happening. So there is some inquiry happening, and then there is a response. Because as we know, all the scriptures are question and answer. It is never a monologue; it is a dialogue. So whenever there is a question, we raise hand and say, "I want to ask questions." Nobody denies, especially in Sanatana Dharma. In other Dharma, you cannot. It's written here. Do it. Forget about you. Should not ask questions. If you ask questions, then you cannot follow that Dharma. Like that, they say. But here, you can ask questions. So that's what it is. So let's begin. So Maharaj Parikshit, so Shaunaka Rishi is going to now speak. Shaunaka Uvacha Asvatthanopasushtena Brahma Shirshoro Tejasa Uttaraya Hato Garbha Ishena Jivita Punaha. Yes, Akshat, can you tell?
The sage Kanaka said the womb of Uttara Parishit was spoiled by the dreadful and invincible Brahmastra and released by Ashwatthama. But Maya Parishit was saved by the Supreme Lord.
Hare. So we all know, we have seen this in the earlier chapter, chapter number 8, where Ashwatthama released Brahmastra because he did not want even the last, dynasty of the Kuru to survive. Though he was, saved, saying, okay, we'll forgive you. Draupadi forgive him for killing 5 sons, right? And say, okay, no problem, don't kill him. Why? Because he is the only son of her mother, and I don't want her mother to suffer like I'm suffering. How much compassion devotee has? She has already suffered, but she doesn't want the same suffering to be caused to others. Though she had incurred a great loss, losing 5 children is not a small thing. Small thing happens to our child, some sickness and all that, mother is worried so much. Here she lost all of them, which can never come back. But still she is showing so much compassion towards Ashwatthama. And see what he does. He again sent one master. So that's what happened, and Lord Krishna saves him, right? So here it is mentioned that Puna means again brought to life. So actually, what it means that the Parikshit Maharaj was actually dead in the womb, but Krishna brought him back to life. So this only Krishna can do, nobody else. Like Krishna brought back the son of his Gurudev, Sandipuni, right? So only he can do it. We cannot. Also, Krishna brought back all his Gopas, friends, when they went into the mouth of Aghasur. So we can see only Krishna can do this. When Brahma Vimohan Lila took place, he was able to incarnate, he would just reproduce himself as the same Gopal, and nobody could understand. Only Krishna can do. So how powerful Krishna is, right? We can see from all these examples that only Krishna can save. So he says, right, Mare Krishna Rake Krishna Mare ke. If Krishna want to save someone, nobody can kill. And if Krishna want to kill someone, nobody can save. So what's the example where if Krishna wants to kill, nobody can save? Any example? Shishupal was very clear, but Hiranyakashipu is one. Okay, tell me something from Mahabharata.
Stop the sun.
Jayadratha, correct. He, yeah, Jayadratha, very classic example. He said, okay, now I will survive. Look at the Krishna's power. He could cover the sun. And then finally, nobody understands. So Krishna's activities cannot be understood. In fact, that day I was reading this Bhagavatam with our parents, on 7th Canto, so Prahlad Maharaj Lila. And suddenly, when I was listening to one class in which it was mentioned very powerful, it says that when every endeavor, it stops there, when the Krishna's Lila begins from there. When we fail to do anything, I want to do this, and we cannot do it. From there, the Krishna begins. So Krishna is extremely powerful, but he is very merciful to devotees. He is very merciful to every living entity, in fact, not just devotees. He is very much loving all the devotees and all the living beings. He does not discriminate between jivatmas, but he reciprocates the way we reciprocate. The way we approach, he will reciprocate in the same way, but he does not discriminate. We can look at our conditions. We all can introspect in our own life that what all we have done in this life, what all sinful activities that we may have done, and still Krishna is giving us an opportunity to do this bhakti. This is very rare. Human birth is very rare. In human birth, opportunity to do bhakti is the rarest. So we have got that opportunity of those devotees. So powerful. So Krishna is so merciful. He has showered so much mercy on all of us. Right? So let's go to verse number 2. So now they all want to hear, very eager to hear. Everybody is saying, Sudha Goswami, please tell us more. I want to hear more about Parikshit Maharaj because they only want to know. That's a question. Because of him, only this whole Bhagavatam was spoken. So obviously, everybody is interested. What is so great about him that whole Bhagavatam was spoken to him, isn't it? So this is very powerful. So let's read the sloka number 2. Tasya janma mahabuddhe karmani cha mahatmanah nidhanam cha yathe vasi sapretya gatavan yatha. Yes. Abha, can you read? Let me make it bigger. Video.
How was the great Emperor Parikshit, who was a highly intelligent and great devotee, born in that world? How did his death take place, and what did he achieve after his death?
Hare Krishna. You can see all these questions are coming. So, highly intelligent, great devotee. So, he's talking about great devotee. See, the words are very important here. Please pay attention to these words because these words are not like, we can explain he's a devotee, he's a great devotee, he's a humble devotee. This word makes a lot of difference in identifying who is who, isn't it? So, they are saying he's a great devotee. What is, they want to hear about his birth, death, and activities. These 3 things they want to know, right? So, now the question is coming that why Maharaj Parikshit's life, death, and activities are glorious. How? We all know something about Parikshit Maharaj is not a completely new person or personality in our life, right? Everybody knows something about him. Okay, so here's the question. Why his birth is so glorious? Why his life and the death? Life means his activities. So can some give an example? Why is it is glorious?
So, because Krishna is glorified in all these stages.
Krishna has glorified.
Krishna is being glorified in all these.
Yes, that is true. But tell me specific activities. Some specific thing which has happened. In birth, what happened? Come on.
Only because of Krishna protected.
Krishna protected. Exactly. That's what we are looking for. Krishna protected. So that's glorious. How many of us have been saved by Krishna or who has seen Krishna in the womb? No one. Parikshit Maharaj has seen. So that is glorious. Wow, we have seen Krishna. Right? Okay. Tell me about life. What is activities in life? He did something great.
Because when he was bitten by the snake, he immediately turned everything.
That is also there, but there is something even beyond that. He had done something.
He was a great emperor and a great devotee.
Of course, he is there, but why he is so great? There has to be reason behind it.
Stop the advancement of Kali.
Yes, he stopped the advancement of Kali. Very nice. He stopped the advancement. Who can stop? This is his power. He could stop the advancement of Kali. No, you cannot go everywhere. See, if he was not there, Kali would have been everywhere. But because of him, Kali was given only 5 places. Right? What are the 5 places?
Gambling,
Meat eating,
Intoxication.
yeah, illicit relation, and gold. Yeah, so like that. And then what about that? Why is so glorious? Bhagavatam was spoken, absolutely. So these are all glorious. That is why Parikshit Maharaj is Everything is so glorious. And when you hear about them, I want to know, Arey, no, tell me more. Give me more. I want to hear. Isn't it? This is why all the sages at Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunakrishi, are asking Sutugan, please tell me, what is it? I want to hear more. They don't know. At that time, there was no WhatsApp and Telegram and all that. People will send some message. Hey, Sautus, Parishit Maharaj is listening to Bhagavatam in bank of Ganga. Please come. Location, live location. It was not there. So you cannot hear, but then they came to know and they want to know more about it. That's what it is. Okay, so this is about it. Tell me now, connection with this. How Srila Prabhupada's life is so great. Why his life is so glorious. We can compare that. Birth, life, and death. What are the things in birth, life, death? Think about it. I'm sure you all are reading Leela Marut and you have heard about Prabhupada so many times. You heard his glorification during Vyas Puja and all that. So,
Born during Nandotsav.
born on Nandotsav, yeah, that is also good. What else? In birth, what more? Yes, born in a Vaishnava family, Narottam Das Thakur's lineage. Very nice. Okay. Then, what was he doing in the childhood? Rath Yatra. He was doing Rath Yatra. Correct. See, he is doing so much. He is doing deity worship in such a small age. He is doing Rath Yatra. Such wonderful. Look at the childhood. It's so glorious, isn't it? Right? We can see when the young child gets involved, the child becomes so beautiful because he's getting activity he's doing the transcendental activity. The child becomes really nice. You can see that, it looks very different from other children. So that is birth. Okay, life we can talk, right? Many things. Yes, Akshay.
He has increased devotion in America.
Yes, he increased, he spread Krishna consciousness worldwide. Very nice. Okay, what else he did?
During the life, he has established 108 temples.
108 temples, very nice. 108, yeah. Who can establish in 10 years? So difficult. Books? Yes, very nice. Because that's what we are reading. If this was not what we will do. Yeah, so he's like, he initiation, yes, he ISKCON, he got all these things. All these things he did. That's why his life is so glorious. Okay, what about his living this mortal world?
The same purpose,
Yes, he was giving purport at the last moment. Till 10th canto. He was giving purport last moment. Okay, what else?
We show by example that
It's
we are
so
not this body.
Yes, we are not the body, yes. And what else?
He gave Mahamantra.
Yeah, he was chanting, all the devotees were chanting when he was leaving body. Everybody was chanting Mahamantra. So yes, what else?
The last stage he was preaching Bhagavatam.
Yes, preaching. When did he leave his body? Vrindavan. When? Kartik month, yes, very nice. See, he left his body, he's dictating Bhagavatam, he left his body in Vrindavan, in Kartik month. Such an auspicious departure, isn't it? So we can see how it is glorious. We can see Parishit Maharaj in here, we can draw parallels, right? It's so beautiful. So, yeah, whenever we see some glorification of the great devotee, we can look at who are those in this mortal world that we see are exhibiting those kind of behaviors. We can see Prabhupada, we can draw a complete parallel here. Okay, now tell me why these people are glorious. Prahlad Maharaj. Why is he glorious?
He has an unconditional faith in Krishna.
Yeah, that's right. That's all. Everybody has got. There are so many devotees who have faith, unconditional faith. Who gave?
Nothing
He made the Nasiva avatar here. So now you can talk about all three now. You should be able to. Satyavrat Muni or Maharaj. First incarnation. What was that? Yeah, fish incarnation.
Fish.
Yeah, fish incarnation. Vatsya avatar. So because he made that happen. Okay, Bali Maharaj? Obviously. So now first is clear. So A equal to B equal to C. Immediately our mind works like that, right? A, B, C. So okay. Okay. Then tell me why Parishit Maharaj is glorious.
Bhagavatam is the incarnation of Krishna.
Incarnation of Krishna and what else? They talked about one incarnation, but Parikshit Maharaj through Bhagavatam had all the incarnation in one place. He made them alive in this scripture, all of them, right? So this is why Parikshit Maharaj is glorious. So it's so wonderful. So let's read the purport. So in purport, Srila Prabhupada says, so all the translation and purport that we are reading by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The king of Hastinapur, now it is called Delhi, used to be the emperor of the world, at least till the time the son of Emperor Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit, so who is son of Emperor Parikshit? Who was the king after that? Janmejaya, yeah. Maharaj Parikshit was saved by the Lord in the womb of his mother, so he could certainly be saved from an untimely death due to the ill will of the son of Brahman, which is Aswasthama. Because the age of Kali began to act just after the assumption of power of Maharaj Parikshit, the first sign of misgiving was exhibited in the cursing of such greatly intelligent and devoted king as Maharaj Parikshit. The king is a protector of the helpless citizens, and their welfare, peace, and prosperity depend on him. Unfortunately, by the instigation of the fallen age of Kali, an unfortunate Brahman son was employed to condemn the innocent Maharaj Parikshit. So now question is that Parikshit Maharaj has got two things, right? So question is here we can see Parikshit Maharaj is putting dead snake on Shamik Rishi. So did he make a mistake?
Yes.
It was a dead snake. Is it a mistake?
Yes.
Yes. How many of you feel yes or how many say no? Anybody feels no, it was not a mistake? Okay, so everybody feels it's a mistake. Yeah, okay, yes. He did a mistake. Did that mistake deserve the curse that was given?
No.
Not at all, right? It's like, oh, we have a cockroach and say, okay, get me that gun, I want to kill it. You don't need gun for that cockroach. Right? You can just use some small paper cup and take it out and put it out. That's it. So he was unjustly cursed. Now, Parikshit Maharaj could have counteracted the curse. He could have stopped that curse because he was very powerful. He was pious and he could have stopped it. But here, Prabhupada says he did not do that. Because he knew that now, see, Kali begins when? When the topmost in the Varnashram Dharma falls down. Who is that? Brahman. So when Brahman falls down, that's where the whole humanity gets implicated because of that. Because Brahman is one who's giving the knowledge. And if the knowledge is not going to come in a proper way, then what happens? We can see if education system fails, the generation degrades. We see the degradation happening. We see that because the education system is not proper. They don't teach all the scripture, all the moral values. Nothing like this is taught in the schools. And therefore the degradation of the society has already begun. So here Prabhupada has a very wonderful point. He says that unfortunately, by the instigation of the fallen age of Kali, an unfortunate Brahman son was employed to condemn the innocent Maharaj Parikshit. And so the king had to prepare himself for death within 7 days. A pure devotee never asks the Lord for any undue favor. Maharaj Parikshit knew that the curse of the unjustified, as everyone else knew, like all of us came to know, right? But he did not want to counteract it because he knew also that the age of Kali had begun, and the first symptom of the age, namely degradation of a highly talented Brahman community. So because of that degradation, now Parikshit Maharaj understood that Kali has now entered. So he did not want to intervene into that and say, okay, now it has already come, so I will not intervene. He did not want to interfere with the current of the time, but he prepared himself to meet death very cheerfully and very properly. So very happily he said, okay, I'm not going to do anything. I will give up my death. So as soon as we come to know that, okay, there is a problem in our life, what we should do? We should take shelter of Krishna. In fact, we should take shelter of Krishna every day because you don't know what happens next, isn't it? Parikshit Maharaj was fortunate to know that I have 7 days. How many of us know we have 7 days? In one of the class when Maharaj asked questions, How many of you have come for the first time? The one or two hands went up, like with the, okay, Hari Bol, that, Sweta Prabhu does it in the temple. Who has come the first time? Say, okay. What's your name? Okay. Rishikesh Prabhu, Hari Bol! Everybody like, okay. Then he asks another grave question. How many of you have come for the last time? That was a complete pin drop silence. Nobody knows about it, right? That will we see the next Sunday feast? I don't know. But it's a valid question. We should ask this ourselves. And that way we get fixed into our bhakti, Krishna consciousness. Our chanting becomes more sober, more sincere, more attentive. We should know that I'm going to leave in the next few hours. How will I? Then we'll chant intensely. We will forget about everything else. Isn't it? No project, no office, nothing. Everything is focused only on Krishna. In fact, have you seen? Today I was listening to one short lecture. It's in Hindi. It's very nice. In which it is mentioned that when we chant, have you seen if you chant for 2 hours, what happens? We are not doing any prajalpa, means no gossip happening. We are not distracted, right? We are not blaspheming anyone. We are not criticizing anyone. All these things are happening means our anarthas are stopped for that 2 hours. Completely stopped. So now think of chanting more and more. Then what happens? The anarthas will be completely taken away. And by this small act, if we are not indulging in the worldly activities, then how much impact it has got on us? It will purify us. And therefore, dear devotees, we should chant. Wherever we get the opportunity, we should chant. At least those 2 hours when we are chanting, we should not have anything else in our hand in front of us except the beads and the picture of the deity. That's it. Nothing else. If you have phone, if you have laptop, or there is a distraction. There is too much distraction, and we should avoid that. So distraction comes in many forms in material world, especially in this yoga. So that's what it is. So this punishment was definitely not justified. Once my Guru Maharaj, his Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, something happened in Chavati temple, and all the devotees came together and they identified, okay, this is a problem with this devotee, so we should, take him out of this community. And Maharaj says, no, why you want to do that? He was not favoring that. He says, no. That means he says, look at his track record. If you are giving any punishment, you should look at that person's track record, that how he has been doing. If it is a first time mistake, then we should pardon him. If it is depending on the mistake, impact of mistake, we should give the punishment. Not that it's just taking him out of the community. That's not the right thing. So here also Parikshit Maharaj, look at the Parikshit Maharaj track record. Absolutely clean, no problem at all, right? Obviously, he should not have been given this punishment. But by the providence, this happened because Kali has to progress. And for Kali to progress, Brahmanas have to fall down. So that happened. So Parishit Maharaj did not came in between. Okay. Let's go to next. So they further want to hear about Maharaj Parishit. Tad idam shrotum ichchamo
Tadidam stotam ichchamo
gaditum yadi manyase
Gadidam yadi manyase
bruhina saddadhananam
Brahmina sattvananam
yasya gnanam adachachuk.
Yasyanam
Okay. Rishit, can you read this? Can you see? Yeah.
We all respectfully want to hear about Maharaj Parishit, to whom Sukadeva Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge. Please speak on this matter.
Hare Krishna. So they want to hear one more. Please give me more. I want to hear more and more. They are again and again asking. So we can see when you ask about same thing again, means that thing is important. That thing is very important in our life. So that's what is happening here. So let's see what Prabhupada says in the purport. There is some wonderful points are there. So let's In purport, Srila Prabhupada says, Sukadev Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge to Maharaj Parikshit during the remaining 7 days of his life. And Maharaj Parikshit heard him properly, just like an ardent student. The effect of such bona fide hearing and chanting of Srimad Bhagavatam was equally shared by both the hearer and the chanter. Both of them were benefited. Both hearer and chanter were benefited. All right. So now, please give me an example where both hearer and chanter were benefited from from Bhagavatam. Where somebody is speaking, but you are not part of that conversation. You are only a bystander, but hearing that conversation. And because of it, that person is benefited. By Maitri Muni, correct. When Uddhav Gita was being spoken, this is a discussion between Uddhav and Krishna, and at the time Maitri Muni happened to be there, and he heard that knowledge. And then what happened? He used that to give knowledge to whom? Vidur, right? So this is how all this is there. So wonderful. So we can see that even if you are not the direct, person who's giving instruction has been given, but if you are even here, then what happens? Immediately we know that, oh, this is what's so important, such an important. We should not feel that because these two people are actively talking, it is for them. We should be like Saragrahi. We should say, this is for me, and take that, and then implement in our life, right? So this is what happened. Any other example where something like this happened? Maharaj was the one and he heard. He heard. All this is good. Yes. But what we are discussing now itself is an example.
Sure.
Yeah.
No,
No. Sutta Goswami. So when Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadev Goswami discussed, Sutta Goswami was one of the audience. He was an audience. And now he became a speaker at Naimisharanya. So see how he was benefited. Now he is able to give the knowledge back to the Shavana Krishi and all the other 88,000 sages who gathered there. And also, it is only Shavana Krishi who is asking questions. But who are benefiting? All the 88,000 rishis who are gathered, everybody is getting benefited. So what happened? The speaker and the hearer, both are getting benefited. So when you go into the class, when somebody is speaking from Vyasasana, in the temple, we know that, okay, he's speaking, but we all are getting benefited. Every hearer is getting benefited depending on how we are hearing. That is important. We should be attentive, right? Otherwise, people, when they speak, people go to sleep and then, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, then people come back to like, oh, okay, Hari Bol, and they jai. And then say, wonderful class, wonderful class. Yeah, so in the end, we say Prabhupada ki, that's a wake-up call. And then we also, yes, Prabhupada ki jai. Yeah. It has also got benefit, like, instead of sleeping in home, sleeping is still better because at least you are somewhere. See, there was one joke which happened, I was listening in the earlier days, I'm sorry. So once there was some katha was there, so everybody is invited, please come and all that, in village. So one person did not come. So they asked next day, "Arey, you did not come, what happened?" So he was answered, this is in Gujarati, so I will convert it to English now, because in Gujarati you can have that more rasa, But I'll speak in English. You may not get that rasa in English. I'll try to do that. So in English it means that, anyway, I would have slept in the katha, so better I sleep at home, so I did not come. See, I have to sleep here, why not sleep at home? That was his point. So point is that, dear devotees, even if you are feeling tired and all, you should still go to the temple, be among the devotees, because looking at others' enthusiasm, others' interest, we will get charged up. Sometimes their interest is very contagious, and we get that. So this is how they got it. So here, now many times, the Prabhupada gives one very beautiful example. where he says that there is a type of spiritual master and disciple much advertised in the age of Kali. It is said that the master injects spiritual force into the disciple by an electric current generated by master, and the disciple begins to feel the shock. He becomes unconscious, and the master weeps for his exhausting his store of so-called spiritual assets. Such bogus advertisements is going on this age of Kali. And the poor common man is becoming the victim of such advertisement. We have seen this many times, right? All these people who want to convert people, they do all this, like, they put hand and they, and then, okay, he falls down, and then suddenly, okay, Sukhi has weapon, and then, okay, everybody, oh, it's all bogus. We can see this. Prabhupada wrote this many years ago. But see, we can see it happening today. So Prabhupada had a foresight, and he saw that happening, because at the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, also a lot of black magic was happening. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was implicated because of black magic. He fought with that. So all this was pervading at the time. But you can see that that impact is still there. So if you are ignorant in the life, then this all can affect us. And therefore, the gaining the knowledge of Shastra is very, very, very important, coming from Parampara, from a bona fide Guru. It's so important, right? So that's what it is.
But when Chaitanya Charitamrita did in similar situation after
Yeah.
like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told
Yeah. What is his name?
forgetting Mishra?
No. Kala Krishna Das. He was in the South tour with his
Near Sanatana Goswami's teachings to Sanatana Goswami.
who was
In
teaching?
Varanasi, right? Didn't that happen?
No, that was not that. Those are the Mayavadi sannyasis that you are talking about.
No, somebody is listening when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives teachings to, I think, Sanatana Goswami or Rupa Goswami.
I don't remember that. We still have to go to that chapter. I haven't gone there yet. From classes, it's very difficult to read them. But when you go systematic study, then we remember, this is what is happening. I think we are yet to reach that. But we'll hear that. Okay, let's go to verse number 4. Sutta Uvacha Apipala Dharmaraja.
This is from different 313.4.
Oh, this is different. Yeah, so here I think I put that. So this is a reference which is coming from the third canto, where he says that, see, you can read. So Mataji, can somebody read translation?
Translation: person who hear from the spiritual master with great labor and for a long time must hear from the mouths of pure devotees about the character and activities of pure devotees. Pure devotees always think within their hearts of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, who awards his devotees liberation.
Hare Krishna. So, see, here it is mentioned that if we hear the activities of pure devotees, not just about the Lord, even if we hear the pure activities of the devotees, it is still equally beneficial. Equally beneficial. For example, in Bhagavatam, we are all reading about Krishna's activity, but most of the time, whose activities we are listening? All the devotees. Either they were pure devotees or they became pure devotees, right? Like we hear about whom? Vyasdev, Narad Muni, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj. Then those who were not pure but became pure, Yayati Maharaj, Ajamil, Chitraketu Maharaj. All these stories are coming. Look at the 7th canto. How many times Narsinghdev speaks? Hardly few shlokas are there, but everything is about Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. So Krishna gives stage even to the devotees. Okay, you take over and talk about it, because Krishna wants to glorify the devotees, and therefore the glory of the devotees are more in the Bhagavatam. And listening to their stories is as good as listening to Krishna Katha. There is no difference. Therefore, when we read the biography or autobiography of our Guru work, like Prabhupada Lilamrut and all that, These are not mundane scriptures. These are still transcendental scripture like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. If you are reading Black Lotus, the biography of Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, it is a transcendental literature. If you are reading Journey Home, it is transcendental literature. If you are reading book I Will Build You a Temple, it is a transcendental literature. All these are very wonderful scripture. We should read that for inspiration. If you read that, we can get so much inspiration in all this thing. If you read that I Will Build You a Temple, we can see how much struggle the devotees have done. How much struggle. How much struggle. So much. So much. And those devotees who had no idea how India functioned, they're all foreign bodies. They have no idea what happens in India. They do not know much local language. Still they fought and got the temple. It's so amazing story. Somebody can make a movie out of it. It's like that. So, yeah, it's like a script. Someday it will happen, I'm sure. So wonderful. So these are all that's what is being mentioned. That we should hear about not just about the Lord, but also about the devotees. Therefore, many times what happened, people straight go to Canto 10 because that only talks about Krishna Lila, and then only Krishna is there in the center stage. But if you go to 7th Canto, 8th Canto, 9th Canto, Amrish Maharaj is there. Then he's glorious. The whole pastime is such wonderful. Dhruv Maharaj pastime, such an amazing pastime. So we should read all of that. That's what is being talked about here. Okay, now in the fourth, now the questions are asked. Tell us about Parishit Maharaj. So what is Suta Goswami is doing? He's making the base for him to arrive. So he's telling his grandfather time. Okay, how glorious his grandfather is. Right? So that is what is coming here. So he's describing the qualities of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So let's read about it. Suta Uvacha Apipala Dharmaraja Pitruvat Rajyan Prajaha Nishpruha Sarva Kamebhya Krishna Pada Nusevaya.
This version is Suta Goswami said, Emperor Yudhishthira administered generously to everyone during his reign. He was exactly like his father. He had no personal ambition and was free from all sorts of sense gratification because of his continuous service unto the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here there are four prominent qualities of Yudhishthira Maharaj is spoken. What are those qualities? Apipala. Apipala means what? He was administered generously. Very nicely he was managing. And his glories are glorified where? In all the Tribhuvan. Everybody, wow, he's doing so wonderful. Like currently in our Prime Minister in India, his glories are there in the whole world. And nobody sees, everybody wants that kind of leader for their country. People say, I hope our leader is like him. So that's how his glories were known in all the three world, right? And then he was Pitruvat, he's like a father. How father takes care of the child, he is always caring. Similarly, Yudhishthira Maharaj was caring for all of them. And in the purport Prabhupada writes, living being, meaning even including animals. He was so kind to even animals and everything. Because in his kingdom, not just human takes birth, even the animals, the insects, everybody is taking birth. For everyone, he was taking care of very nicely. Right? So he was treating everyone very beautifully, and that's what he was doing. Then Ranjayan Prajaha. He was pleased the citizens. Citizens were very happy under his rule. They're very happy that this is such a wonderful king. And that's what is happening. So we can see how glorious Yudhishthira Maharaj was. And last, he was Nispruha Sarva Kamebhyo. Nispruha means he was no desire for sense gratification. He has no desire. He had so much wealth, so much he could do. He's Kshatriya, but no desire. So he was detached with that. Whatever that he had, he was completely detached. Today everybody wants to be in a politics because they can make more money, not that they can serve. Hardly any one comes in politics to serve people. Most of them come for becoming famous and making more money. That is their agenda. They may speak, I am here to serve and all that, but when we see their life, we know what they have done. But all these activities he was able to do because of what? Why he was able to do this? Yes, Krishna Pada, which is the last line there. Krishna Pada Sevaya. He was doing his continuous service at the feet of Lotus feet of the Sri Krishna. So therefore, if we want to develop these qualities, then what happens? We have to serve Krishna, because whoever we serve, whoever we are close with, what we get his qualities, right? So therefore, if we need to develop these qualities, then we should be serving Krishna, serving the pure devotees of Krishna, and then these qualities can come in us. Because so we should do that. So Parikshit Maharaj has taken birth in such a glorious family. So before describing the glories of Parikshit Maharaj, Suta Goswami is now talking about Yudhishthira Maharaj, that how glorious he was. And therefore, he is going 2 generations before and then describing this. And Prabhupada writes here a very important point. He says, there is a need for the science of Krishna in human society for all the suffering humanity of the world. And we simply request the leading personalities of all nations to take to the science of Krishna for their own good, for the good of society and for the good of all the people of the world. So it is confirmed herein by the example of Maharaj Yudhishthira, the personality of goodness. In India, the people hanker after Ramarajya, because the personality of Godhead was the ideal king, and all other kings or emperors in the India control the destiny of the world for the prosperity of every living being who took birth on the earth. So, point is that Ramarajya will only come, how the Lord Ram ruled. Everybody was very happy, and Yudhishthira Maharaj is doing the same thing in this Yuga, in Dwapar Yuga. So, Prabhupada is saying that we have so many different government. We have communist government, we have democratic government, we have, what do you call that? In North Korea, what kind of leadership is there? Dictatorship. All this is there, but none of them is going to help. Because in everywhere, see, even in democracy, if the person who's gone to, who's a criminal, his vote has equal right of a person who is a saintly person. So what's the comparison, right? There is no comparison. So if that means if there are more criminals in a country, then only a person who's criminal will be voted, isn't it? So that is not a good. Similarly, communists also there is a problem, and any kind of government there is a problem. Unless Prabhupada is advocating that, unless they bring Krishna consciousness into the society, and that means the king, the leader has to follow that, and then everybody else will follow. If leader is corrupt, what happens? Everybody is doing corruption. So unless the leader becomes Krishna conscious and he wants to give this, that's a leader's responsibility. Leader's responsibility is not just to give nice things like park and roads and infrastructure. No, he also need to make sure that how the society can progress to liberate themselves over a period of time. Which government is making that effort? No government is making that effort. No government. You look at the whole world, nobody is doing it. So that's what Prabhupada is making this very important point, that there is a need for Krishna consciousness worldwide. Worldwide. We can see that, I was watching one Indradyumna Maharaj's video. Recently he had been to China. And in China, he's does some amazing preaching. You can see the Chinese people who are completely atheist, who don't believe in God. They're all dancing to the tune of Hare Krishna. They're sitting, listening to lecture. It's so amazing. You can Google that. What is that video name? The Land of Red Dragon. the land of red dragon. That's how it is, in which you can see this. And so on, it's nice to see that, the China we are preaching, because preaching in China is not so easy. It's very difficult. Because when he was there, it was like minus 21 temperature, minus 21. It's so cold. Not just weather, but even the receptive people are not very receptive. But still, was able to create very large community there. The hall, the big hall, it was full. So many people were there, so it's very nice. So it is required. We have to spread Krishna consciousness to wherever we can go. It's very important. Okay, let's go to the next verse. Now he talks about the opulence of Yudhishthira Maharaj, how opulent his kingdom was. Sampada kratavo loka
Sampada Pranavo Loka
Mahishi Bhrataro Mahi
Manishi Ramato Mahi
Jambudipadipatyam cha
Jambu Divadi Bhattam Cha
Yashascha Tridivam Gatam.
Yasachati.
That's Bilasu, can you read?
Sure. News even reached the celestial planets about Maharaj Yudhishthir's worldly possessions, the sacrifices by which he could attain a better destination, his queen, his stalwart brothers, his extensive land, his sovereignty over the planet Earth, his fame, etc. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you can see his glory was known in all. Jambudvip is very big. If you see the structure of Bhagavatam, I think it will come in the third canto. It's so glorious. So everybody was talking about, have you heard about how Yudhishthira Maharaj is ruling his country? He's so wonderful. He's got so much opulence. He's taking care of people so nicely. Today, if you go and talk to any people here in America or somewhere, they will know our Prime Minister of India. They know, yeah, Modi, and they'll say like that. Yeah, he's very nice. Because he's doing such nice work, right? So everybody talks about it. Even a common person will know in different countries. So like that here we can see Yudhishthira Maharaj everything was so opulent that everybody knew about it. It was so glorious. So obviously when you have so much opulences, when you are famous, everybody talks about you, what happens? We get attached to that position, right? Attached. Here people are always attached to that. But see, one important thing we should know, attachment does not mean we love that. Attachment is not equal to love. Sometimes people are detached and still they love so much, right? And similarly, detachment does not mean that we are irresponsible. Detachment is only that I'm not detached with this, but I will be doing, like for example, a lot of times, very nice doctor, they are not attached to the patient, but they perform wonderful surgery and they save patient, right? Very complicated surgery and all that they do, and they save them, but there is no attachment to that. They are completely detached, but they did their job with complete sincerity and save the patient, right? Similarly, when we comes to our own lives, we should be detached with the thing, but we should do things with sincerity. Saying this is my responsibility, so I will do this work. I have to do this. Detachment does not mean I will neglect it. No, I'm not going to neglect. I will give my 100% there. Right. So that's what it is. That though he's having so much opulence, he is completely detached. That comes in the next verse. So he is detached. He's not attached with what is opulence, fame that is coming in his life. He's completely detached with that. Verse number 6. Kim te kamaha spruha sura spruha
Kim te kama surasmaha
mukunda manasodvijaha
Mukunda Sodvija
adijahur adi adijaharur mudam rajan
Adiyakul Madam Rajan
Shuditasya yathetare.
O Brahmanas, the opulence of the king was so enchanting that the denizens of heaven aspired to him. But because he was absorbed in the service of the Lord, nothing could satisfy him except the Lord's service.
Hare Krishna. So look at how much opulence was there that everybody wanted him. But still he was completely detached. Why? Because he was absorbed in the service of the Lord. See, when we are in the service of the Lord, we will forget everything else. When we are chanting, we don't remember anything else. We only want to focus on chanting. Of course, distraction comes, we try to avoid that. But at that time, we are not trying to do other things. We are detached with other work. When we are reading, we are reading. When we are in the class, we are in the class. We are not discussing anything. So this is what we should learn from Yudhishthira Maharaj, that we should remain detached with the worldly activities and yet do that same activity. We have to do it, but still remain detached with that. Meaning that any pride comes, any benefit comes, we are not ready to do it. We are in the service of Krishna. But today, most of the activity that everybody does is they are attached to that. If we do some work, if you are not getting recognition, people don't feel happy. If you are not rewarded, people don't feel happy, right? And people don't get desired result as they wanted, they are not happy. So people are not at all happy with that. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is teaching that if, and this can only happen, dear devotee, we can only get detachment only if you are at the lotus feet of the Lord. Detachment will not come automatically because our senses, our mind needs some attachment. So if you want to detach from the material world, we need to attach them somewhere. What is it somewhere? Is Krishna's lotus feet. When we do that, then our attachment will go away completely. So this is very important for all of us to learn from the life of Yudhishthira Maharaj. That how he had so much opulence, yet he remained completely detached with that. If we had 10 million in our bank account, how many of us will be here in this room? Or anywhere else listening to Bhagavatam? I'm not saying you should be here, but anywhere else listening to Bhagavatam. No, we'll be doing cruise, we'll be doing in somewhere in Alps. All these activities will happen. Isn't it? Okay, too much. Yeah, I will come back. I'm in Bali, taking scuba diving, all that. Just think about it. Therefore, we can see there are people who are so rich, they are not able to come to this. It's very difficult. Very difficult. So we should be thankful to Krishna that he has not given us 10 million, right? Otherwise, we'll be somewhere else. We'll not be sitting in the classes and listening to Gaur Arati in the temple and dancing in the kirtan on the streets. This won't happen. Yeah, we can buy a lot of Prabhupada's book. Okay, I'll buy. Oh, okay, don't I'll take all of that. But the service is not that way. Service is meant we want to go out and do austerities, and perform. That won't happen at that stage. Very difficult. Very difficult. Yes, absolutely. They were billionaires, but they gave up. They said, I don't want this. And they lived in such a life, we cannot live like that. Every day they'll sleep under a different tree. Why? Because they did not want to get attached to the tree also. There's a story of Raja Bhartihari. Have you heard of this? Bhartihari? There's a king, Bhartuhari. So he was a great king. And he was very much attached to his wife. So much attached that he wrote Shringara Shatak. Shringara Shatak. You know, same. The king Bhartihari read Shringara Shatak. Means how the woman should be beautifully decorated and all that. He wrote about it. 100 verses glorifying that. And he was so much attached to his wife. Then he was chastised. And then he got some, got some shock in his life. And then he became a sadhu. he became renounced. Then he wrote Vairagya Shatak. Can you imagine the person who wrote Shringar Shatak wrote Vairagya Shatak? He said, how one should be Vairagi? So amazing. How transformation has taken place, you can see, right? How glorious he is. So now, this Bhartari Maharaj becomes sannyasi. So he was moving from place to place. So one day he was near a pond and he was taking a bath. He was staying at some place, and there was a branch, on which he will put his clothes and other stuff before going to take bath. He'll put gamcha and go inside, but the other clothes are here. So one day he came and he saw somebody else was using that same branch of the tree and putting his clothes. So he came and said, I come here every day. This is my branch. I put my clothes here. And they were like having quarrel among them. So one village woman was going around and carrying water pot. And yes, he says, Are sadhus, what are you doing? You're fighting for this branch tree. I thought you all renounced. How are you attached to this tree, the branch of a tree? You see, this is how. And then suddenly Bhartari got the shock of his life. He says, Oh, I given up my whole kingdom, my beautiful wife, everything I give up. I'm fighting for this branch. I've still not reached to that stage. So we can see this attachment can be at any stage, it can come, dear devotees. Even we do renounce, in that also some attachment can come. Oh, this is my danda, this is my asana. I chant, I sit here only, this I chant all every day here. Prabhu's because move. This is my place. We have seen it happen. I have seen it personally. So these kind of attachments are there, dear devotees. We don't know. See, Maya comes in the way we live our life. If you are doing, renounced life, then Maya will come in a form that it will temper us with the renounced life only. If somebody is having a worldly outlook and he wants to enjoy, Maya will come in that way. For sannyasi, Maya will not come in, no, you take money. Sannyasi, I don't need that. But it will come in this kind of things, where we are attached to something. Therefore, we have to be very careful that attachment should not be there for anything in life. Attachment can come for small things in life, small things. And that can disturb our bhajan. Our consciousness goes away. You've seen, sometimes we get angry, sometimes we are not in mood. What happened for 1-2 hours? Our mind cannot even think of Krishna. Forget about chanting, dear devotees. You cannot even hold beads in our hand. It's so difficult. Therefore, this anartha nivrutti is so important. We have to keep brushing. Cleaning is so much required. That's cleaning. If the cleaning doesn't happen, we are still going to be attached. So you can see, Yudhishthira Maharaj is teaching us. I think it was now the class has to end. Right? Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, no problem. So this is how Maya can come. Sometimes technology embarrasses all of us when it happens. But it's okay. Yeah, so point is that, dear devotees, we have to learn from all these glorious lives of various devotees and implement that in our life. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So we should learn from the life of all the devotees. Whoever we learn, whoever we hear about. Like we were reading, Prahlad Maharaj's pastime in Bhagavatam with our parents, and we recently started this week reading about Dhruv Maharaj's character. And so wonderfully, we can see how Dhruv Maharaj is so tolerant at that age. At the age of 5, he is not retaliating to his mother, Suruchi. Though he was very angry at the time, because when he came to meet his mother, Suniti, he was like trembling. He was like, so much anger was there. But he did not retaliate with his mother. He showed that even that child, has got such wonderful qualities. If we are insulted for no reason, what happens? It will be like all over, isn't it? But that's what we should read. So when we read the purpose, when we read this, we should absorb ourselves into that. Not reading it very quickly, but try to understand what is the message being told in this, and what is in there for me to learn from this. The reading is not that we have read and we have finished the Bhagavatam. No. Sometimes even one verse can change our life. Just one verse. We don't need to read whole Bhagavatam. We have been reading this because one verse is not making difference in our life. Otherwise, every verse is giving us very important message to all of us. There is a one Maharaj. I don't name his full name. He's known as His Holiness B.S. Tirth Maharaj. He's in Gaudiya Maharaj, Gaudiya Mutt. He comes in Atlanta and he gives his very wonderful lectures. So I happened to meet him when I came to Atlanta for the first time in 2017. So I had no association at the time. I was looking for who is also devotee and around and all that. I had only one contact, and that contact was living very far. I had no car, so it's very difficult to commute. So one Gaudiya devotee, somehow he met me. I saw he's wearing tilak, so okay, great. Krishna is here, so we met him, and then he took me. We take classes. I said, okay, go. It's all Bhagavad Katha only. So I also went there. And when I heard about that Maharaj, how that Maharaj came into Krishna consciousness, he got Bhagavad Gita once. Okay, he was a young boy in college. He got Bhagavad Gita, and he started reading. And he read. He likes that so much that he finished reading Bhagavad Gita in a whole night. He did not sleep. In one sitting, he finished whole Bhagavad Gita. He took the Bhagavad Gita in reading, and he finished by morning. He was so absorbed, and then he decided to change his life and took to Krishna consciousness full time. Can you imagine just by reading one time Bhagavad Gita? We all have read so many times. So this is how the absorption should be there. We all should read in such a way that this verse is for me. It is telling me something. What is it? It's not Yudhishthira Maharaj. This message is not given to Parikshit Maharaj. It is being told to me. We are the audience. Whenever the purport is being read, Prabhupada is telling us. Sometimes people say, my Guru Maharaj is not telling me, I don't know. He's giving so many lectures. Just listen to one lecture. We'll know so many things from there, right? Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll continue from verse number 7 the next Friday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे गौर भक्त की जय. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Rishit has prepared one bhajan. He wants to sing that.
Oh yes, very nice, absolutely. Very good. Yes. So which bhajan is that? Is it available on the internet? We can share with everyone, or
You can WhatsApp this.
what is that?
The song.
Hey Krishna. Oh, he has prepared?
I've written the meaning and the down to that Krishna.
Oh.
It's a bhajan sing by Sonam.
By?
Sonam.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can see. Let's see. Hare Krishna. So can you send it in the group, or you have? Yeah, it is available somewhere.
It's in this, take a photo of it.
He's sick.